And now I want to bring in Bonnie Barbier. She spoke to the shooter as recently as Saturday night. Bonnie, can you tell me about that conversation?
Hi. Yes, I was at a local bistro with a friend and my two dogs, and this gentleman approached me to pet my dogs and continued to start a conversation with us. Immediately, the conversation got very strange. He started talking a conversation about euthanizing animals, about how it should be more readily accessible for people to be able to do that, and that people spend too much money saving their pets whenever they're sick or ill. And then he began to tell us a story about a cat that he had that came to his house from maybe the woods. And he had, after a few years, the cat got sick. And instead of bringing him to the vet, which would cost money, and he didn't want to traumatize the animal by putting him in a kennel because he had never been in a kennel, he said, and the crazy part is that you could tell that he felt a lot of emotion over this sharing the story with us, but that he followed the cat outside and hit it with a rebar to try and kill the cat.
Oh.
And then he and I'm there with my dogs who are like my children, basically, you know.
Understand. I have the same situation in my house. Right, right.
Yeah, and my mouth just dropped, and I'm like, is this really happening? And he just continued to talk about how, you know, people should be able to have an easy way to kill their animals, and that, you know, the cat ended up coming back, but I don't remember what happened to the end of that story, but then he was saying how people should be able to go to a place and get a pill to give to their animals to knock them out and then finish them off with an axe. And my friend and I are just sitting here like staring at each other like, what is going on? What is this guy talking about? Well, then he started talking political stuff about that, you know, the government spends so much money on things they shouldn't. And he just pulled up a chair and sat down with us and was ranting and raving about how he would try to write all of these articles for newspapers and letters and send them in, and nobody would publish his writings, but whenever he would dumb them down, then they would go ahead and publish them. And I felt from the get-go very uncomfortable, very scared. There was just something about him that just wasn't easy. He looked, I'm going to use quotes, looked normal. He had on a nice button-down shirt.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about his appearance.
Yeah, but the words coming out of his mouth were just scary and insane. And inside, I was just telling myself, okay, you need to get away from this guy. There's something wrong with him. But I also knew we needed to do it in a nice manner because I didn't want to set him off. I just had a feeling. So I just kind of lied and said, oh, my gosh, look at the time. You know, oh, my goodness, we have to run. But this was after like 30 minutes of him just
going
on
about animals and politics and this and that. And I should tell everyone, you gave all this information. Right. And you gave all this information to detectives as part of, you know, them trying to piece all of this together. Bonnie Barbier, who just happened to have a conversation with this man at a local bistro just a couple of days before this theater shooting. Bonnie, thank you so much for hopping on the phone.